All right, hey everyone. So sorry, this is what my I guess level was left at last night. Okay, so for today, what I was planning on is recreating something like this. So, whoops, moving a little fast. Let me just, I forgot to get the Twitch window in here. So, come on. I posted this image a while back, which was, let's see, it was here. So, this is what we're going to attempt to make. Probably not going to turn out just like this, maybe more, a little bit more like the one that I just showed you. But you know, it's on the same principles. So the setup for this is, let me see, where's my material editor? There we go. So currently I have two materials. The third one you can ignore. I was just playing around with things, so it's not used. But basically what it is, if you can see the flashing images, or where the area the flashes is, this material is applied to that. So let me just deselect this because it's kind of tough when it's highlighted like that. So basically what it is I have two materials, one of them that's on the sides and one of them that's in the center, you know, like maybe a gutter, or you know, like a drain type thing. So the way I've set this up is, if you look here in the materials, there's the main one with its height map, and also there's the blending map, which if you look closely, and let me see, I think I can make this bigger. What it is I just used, I believe, the height map for this, and these are off of textures.com. So I've used the height map to be able to get this dirt that you see on the side, kind of showing in between the cracks and so on. Of course, this can be done with just your basic blend map. You know, I wanted it to show like that just because. So if I was to change this blend factor, let me just put this to the side. So let's see. Hopefully, you can see this. Uh, so you can see how that dirt is, you know, coming in between the cracks and then somewhat covering it. Um, but it's not covering everywhere. And that is, see, like around here. So let's go back to this, and yeah, as you can see, there that area is not covered. So that's done via the alpha blend vertex paint, let's call it that, because you actually in Blender you go into vertex paint and you paint either black, white, or a mixture of the two, and that's how you can set areas that are not going to be affected by this by the blend map. Um, and for this one, I did the same thing for the gutter area. So for that, select this. You can see that I can add a little bit more of this dirt, or take it completely off. The reason I wanted to do it this way is because if you do turn all these down, you'll notice that you might be getting this hard line in between where the two textures meet. And now, especially for brick, you might be able to get away with putting the seam like right where this the grout is, so you might be able to hide it a little better like that. But I want to be able to use this in with multiple other materials. So that's the reason that I went the route of adding this uh, kind of you expect it to happen type dirt. So I mean that's probably a little bit too much, but depending on the situation, that's entirely up to you. Um, okay, um, so that is. Let me. Hopefully, you were able to see this. Maybe make it a little shine a little bit more light here. So we're gonna do the same thing today, where we can play around with these sliders and get a little bit more or less of it in there. Also, one of the things that I had a hard time with was the displacement mapping. So if you see, I can also use displacement for the bricks, and it's not affecting this area here. So if you look at where the two dirt meet, you'll be able to see that you can see a joint here, but you know it's pretty hard to notice. Okay, so let's turn on these the hints. Oh, that one, sorry. Okay, um, so like I said, displacement is entirely up to you. Um, I think it does add to the texture, but oh, sorry. Actually, the height bias should be like that. I actually modified the height bias, so that one actually does make the difference between the two. Like this line look even worse. So there you go. We have some displacement going in here. Where was I? Here. Okay, so I try to keep it kind of reasonable. I mean, this is not reasonable, but somewhere around here, where you get to see some of the shadow, the self shadow strength. You can change that as well. Um, I think that's reasonable as far as how parallax occlused, or however you want to call it, these bricks would be. Okay, so the one thing that I did yesterday was this, and this one follows the same principles. Let's see where it is right here, but it just has the two textures. Like I said, that dirt texture was just me fooling around with something. So these two have like just like the other one, have two different blending masks. So this one has just the cobblestone that I used before, and this one has like kind of a dirt map. It's actually this is coming from CryEngine has one, but it wasn't reflected. So this isn't one thing. Another thing that you got to be careful with is the blending map. So if you want to get like a little bit of a kind of a different effect, like for example, um, where this dirt is, and I think it's a little bit bright. So let me try and see if I can turn down the time of day to a time that makes it look a little better. Okay, so if we look at this, and I'm just bringing down the blend factor. You can see how this one reacts. So it's totally different than where this one was just giving you that thing that's kind of just in between um, in between the cobblestones. So with that said, let's get the blender. Okay, so let me just make this fit the screen like this here. Okay, so first things first, let's just add a plane because that's what this is going to end up being. Right now, the one that I have here is actually pretty small, so I think it's just a 2x4 type stuff. But, sizing is not of the issue. Alright, so let's maybe scale this up by 2 and then scale it on the y-axis by 2. Alright, don't forget to apply rotation and scale. So now, depending on your needs, for example, maybe I want to create something that looks like kind of a medieval street or kind of an older street, whatever you want to have. I like to split this up because it's also going to help you split up your materials. So let's do it in 3. This way we might have the center as our gutter or our center material part, and then the sides is the other one. So let's go ahead and add our materials. So we have, let's do this one as, call it gutter maybe. And let's select the face, assign it, because we'll create some more edge loops across each way to do more of the alpha blending, so the alpha vertex. Alright, so let me turn on screencast and do the other one, which this one's going to be, maybe we'll call this sides, and assign. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind is that if you, depending on your situation and on the materials that you use, and what I normally do is I do the unwrap like this. I unwrap the first part, so let's do an unwrap and make this so that it fits in here, because the blending mask, you don't want to have to tile it, because if you do tile it, then it's going to turn out bad, especially for something um, like this. So if you look at the blending map, this one, so if you look closely to this, this one you're not going to be able to tile. If you tile that texture, you're just going to end up getting this, and it's going to be like lines across. So here, this is, let me show you what I mean. So if we were to tile the diffuse, so let's say maybe 2 and 2, this is what you get. So see, this one shows up twice. You can see it once here and another one more time here. So that's not what we want. Then again, it depends on the type of blending map that you use. But for this example here, we just wanted to tile it at 1. So let's go back here. And what I'm trying to do is when I unwrap this, I'm trying to place this pretty much um, kind of at the edge of my UV maps, because in the end, um, for example, if I'm using one of those edge dirt type blending maps, that's going to run across this edge here and across this edge here. So be careful with that. So what I like to do is maybe say, for example, you want to use the same texture, but you know, maybe this one is going to have a different blending map and you want to tile it a little different. So I like to pin this down and then unwrap the other two. So they follow the exact, or pretty damn close to the exact same methods. So um, let's go ahead and so this is our initial starting point. So what we can do right now is we can start working on this gutter thing that I'm thinking of doing. So let's split this up into two, and let's see, maybe we want to do it the other way. So let's do it here and here. So let's select the edge, and one thing also that you might want to do is create a new and use a UV grid, and in here texture solid, so that way if you move one of these, see, for example, if I do an edge slide on this, you'll see that it's pulling the UVs along with it, so we don't want that. But let's complete the edge slide, so maybe up to here, and then if we hit the tab bar, you'll see there's an option to correct UVs. So let's do that. So now we have proper UVs, and this is not you know, it's not stretching them out. And that setting is going to be kept apparently throughout with your project. All right, so let's maybe we'll bring this down like so. Not too much. We don't want to create any stretching around here. Okay. And then maybe this one, maybe we want to add a few more edge loops, and you know, make it look like more of a gutter type thing, or you know, whatever you want it to be. Okay, so now we have this in place. What you could do is actually you can already export this like so. So let's give this a shot and see how it looks, and then we'll try and do a little bit of the alpha paint and see how that affects things. So I'm using a bcry exporter, and so let's add this. This is going to be called maybe gutter test, and let's do our material utilities, material convention, and this is going to be none. I'm not going to worry about the proxy right now. Hey, GameCat. So there's that, and let's go ahead and export the CryEngine. The other reason I'm doing the unwrap like I just did is that I want to be able to use, I have a, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 6 different textures set up, and I want them to be applied to this that way. So you know, you get quite a bit of variety. So let's export selected nodes, generate materials, and let's put it in assets, objects, architecture, buildings, alleyway, and we'll call this stream maybe. Alright, so it's always good to have your system console just to make sure that the export went fine. And there it is. Okay, so let's jump back into CryEngine and see where that thing got placed. So let's create an object, and we want to do a brush, and this is going to be, I believe I called it stream, or maybe not. Yeah, GameCat, good thing you mentioned that. So that part I could not figure out. It's a combination of where you place your initial curve and where you place the thing you want it to be beveled on. I mean, I got some results out of it, but it was a little bit too much experimenting, and in the end, it didn't really turn out um, like I was hoping it will. So, I mean, um, if you can figure something out, then let me know. I'd like to know it. It's definitely a good idea, but like I said, I just didn't spend too much time on it. All right, so let's go I guess I called it gutter test. Huh. Okay. All right, so here's our gutter. Wow, that really looks like a gutter. Okay, or sort of. So right now I can try and apply just the texture that I was using here and see how that looks. So let's do that. And whoa, that actually doesn't look too bad. You know, come to think of it. Um, so that turned out pretty good, I have to say so myself. Um, in cases like this, where you have maybe something that looks like, and I'm starting to think that this could be turned into a sidewalk pretty easily. Um, you might need to have maybe a third texture in here, unless this one's set up so that it has something that looks like a sidewalk. And I believe, um, CryEngine already comes with one option like that. So let's give that a try and see how it looks. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this one here because I already have it applied. So let's apply this, and for this one, let's see if I can track down that texture that would do something more for the curves. So let's see. The good thing is that with 5.3 they fixed the preview, which is very much helpful. So for example, now you can see what you're actually using, which is great. I guess you can't really resize some of these windows, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so let me look and see where is our thing. I'm trying to remember where the so let's just go through them a little bit. Concrete corner, concrete curves. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna keep on looking at that game cat, and because it's definitely an intriguing idea. So hopefully, hopefully something comes of it. Okay, so now if you look at this texture, it is a little bit more focused on just the curves. So um, it won't be very pretty, but hopefully you get the idea. So let's take this out, and also the blending map and the second height map. So let's do this concrete curves like that. And turn off the blend layer just real quick. So yeah, this is a little bit of a thing. It's this texture is pretty low res, and it might work. Something like this might work if you were to do a third material along the sides. But since you don't get a tip out of it, UV unwrapping it might be just kind of a like a kind of a just trying your luck and kind of guesstimating where things might be. So we'll just keep it with what we have, and try and improve this a little bit, and do some do a little bit of vertex paint, because as you can see right now that that blend map is applied everywhere, and maybe we just want it to be more on these edges rather than all over the place. So first things first, let's try and do a little bit with um, with this hard edge, because I don't really like this here. And hopefully when we'll have custom normals working with Cryblend, and they already work if you export it as an FBX, but hopefully B2Cry, sorry, will have that working also, so it'll be a little bit quicker that way. So there we go. We have the blending happening right now. What we Like I said, what we want to do is do something about this, and we can get away with some beveling. So let's try that, just at least for this case. So one thing to keep in mind is when you bevel, so Control B, you don't want to do multiple times, because that's gonna well, I guess not for this, is it? Before, what used to happen, it used to mess up with maybe they did something to it. It used to mess up with the UVs. So if you did multiple bevels, it would break your UVs. So, but apparently not so much anymore. So let's do an export and see how this looks in the engine. So we don't want to generate materials anymore, and export. So let's go back into the engine. And we already have a little bit of a better edging around here. um, you know it definitely looks better. So let's crank up this blending map, and do a little bit of vertex painting here. So this is something that um, I don't know why, but it's always a little bit confusing to me. So first of all, one thing that I was mentioning earlier is going in and adding, a few more of these edge loops. And this is all depending on how you want to do it. I like adding edge loops. You might want to do this in the beginning, um, or let's maybe do like maybe 8, like so, and we'll do maybe 3 on each side. So that we have some vertices to do the vertex paint, right? So let's go into vertex paint, and now if I go to my tab, hit my tab key, we can start painting along here, for example. So if we were to paint this, say paint that black there and this one black here, maybe along this edge. Excuse me. So we'll just throw in a little bit of that. For this section, with the current blend map that I'm using, I'm not going to worry about it, because even if I do some alpha vertex, it's not going to matter, because that thing is empty anyways. Um, for the cobblestone, that's a different story, because the blending map looks like this. So it covers pretty much everything. So now that we have this alpha vertex painted, let's export it again and see what happens. So I believe it was there, and export. So let's go back into here, and you'll notice that nothing really happened, and that is because we go back into CryEngine, and we go to our, what do you call this? You call this the Object Data tab. Vertex colors, this needs to be named as alpha. So let's try exporting this again, and let's see what happens. There we go. So now, where we painted black, the blending map is not being applied. So let's bring back this little panel here, and I'll play around with the settings a little bit. So if we bring this all the way up, right? If you look at this, you'll see that the blending map is not applied there, which is pretty cool. I like that. So this is an extreme case. Let's make it so that it looks a little bit more realistic, just like so. And where we have white, that blending gets applied. So maybe we can extend painting the black a little bit over to this edge, and maybe to this edge. And here's where you can throw in a little bit of variety, like I did for that alleyway. And let's go back in here and go into vertex paint. And let's see. As you can see, this one, we don't have any vertices here. So if we do end up painting, we're going to paint this, and it's just going to be a little bit too much maybe. So let's go back into edit mode and add another edge loop in here and here. So back into vertex paint. And for some reason, I don't understand why that one doesn't show. This one here, I guess you have to paint it first. Which brings us into a couple of the paint modes for when you do textures. So what you can do is, let's see, where was that? It was the stroke. And stroke method is going to be a line. So if you want to do, say, a line from this end to this end, you just hold down left mouse button and drag across, and you have a line painted. And the same thing for this one, and you have a line painted. I went a little bit too far with that one. And also, let's try this. You can use a little bit of a different gray. So there is that, and make it a little darker. At least for these. So let's go back from line to airbrush, and make these a little darker, like that. Maybe one around here, and the same thing for this. So then it's more of just given a little bit of variety. One thing to mention is that if you intend of this item right now probably is it's a good size, so it will be you can use it on the grid, but the thing that you need to be careful is where they meet. So for example, like if this was white and this was black, where this would meet, you will see a hard edge or a hard line because of that blending. So let's make sure these are the same color, these vertices here. And these seem to be already. So let's go ahead and export this. So going back into here, you see that the black is applied. Where the black is, you don't see the blending, or the blending map. I believe that's the proper term for this, right? So yeah, it's the second diffuse map, which is applied based on the blending map. Okay, so now if we were to duplicate this and let's turn on the grid, hopefully these will snap into place, just like so. Apparently not so much. Did I spin this around? Oh, there's this thing, I believe, I don't know how I turned that on, is where it's trying to snap it to the ground. I'm not sure why it does that. That is very, very weird. Yeah, the gizmos are, I think they're a little broken, or I might have some setting that it's not agreeing with. Yeah, because he just moved it below, and I'm not sure why. or it could be, let's try dragging it in again. Maybe it's because I didn't place it on the grid the first time. Nah, just keep snapping it to the ground. Let's see if I just toggle snapping to anything. There we go. I knew it was something that I might have done. Okay, so let's apply the material to this one, and let's see where is my material tab. It's right here. So apply it to that one, not the whole thing, just this. Apply it to that, and let's apply it to this one as well. So there we go. These blend in pretty dang nice. I mean, um, this is going to be, again, up to you whenever you do your UV unwrap to make it so that it's so many times, you know, like a constant amount of times greater than what it started off with. And yeah, there's definitely some you can, you know, if you look up really close, you can see the lines, but they can always be fixed by throwing in either like a decal, which we can do. So let's throw in a little bit of you can, you know, throw one right here maybe, and let's see if we look up for some maybe some mud or dirt. Let's look for some dirt. So we have a bunch of dirt decals that come by default, which is really nice, so pretty helpful. So there's that, and you know, you can move it so that it's just covering that um, you know, that seam, or you know, that where the two objects join. So there we go. I know it's not very practical as far as this gutter thing here to have cobblestone on it, but it was pretty much the simplest that you could get away with. So hey, you too, GameCat. Um, so what you can do, you know, you can the thing I like, the reason I like this setup is that I can go in and choose maybe one of my other materials, and so let's pull this. So I already have a few. So for example, I apply this one. You know, you already have something else going on here. Um, I don't know, maybe this one doesn't really work with anything, but let's see. Hey Samik, I think I have. I have seen you in the stream before, have I? Yeah, for example, this one doesn't work so well. You know, this one has just like your regular dirt blend map for this, which is not bad, but it's still okay. So then it's entirely up to you to find. See, this is something that I think this one actually looks pretty good. Huh? Interesting. Um, so also to be careful with is, you know, these are like hard edges, or like it's not smooth shading. So what I heavily use when it comes to that, let's go into here, is I use hard ops, and it has a really nice feature where you can do just a sharpen, and there it is, that easy. So let's see if we do an export now, if that fixes it. Export to CryEngine, and there we go. So that fixed those weird looking what you might call it. That sounds terrible, but those weird looking the weird looking shading. So there is that. I think it's turning out quite alright, you know, and if we were to play around with this a little bit, you know, this could potentially work as a street maybe, but you know, you might want to do like an electric pole here and there. Um, you know, it's entirely up to you. Um, so I think overall it turned out okay. It was pretty quick between me just rambling on about stuff and you know, putting this together. I think it went by pretty quick. And so yeah, if you look at this, you know, you have your you know, you're blending with the little dirt here and around here. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing that you need to be careful with when you start off doing this is, you know, sizing. I mean, for example, this might work as a um, kind of a back street type stuff, you know, or one-way street, you know, things like that. It might work with that. So, but the biggest thing I wanted to show you was, you know, the way to use it to create something that's, you know, might work as a back alley or, and you know, being able to throw in some variety in here. So with that said, it was a pretty short stream this week. I'm hoping that you guys get, as always, you know, you guys got something out of it. Uh, and until next week, I wish you guys a great Sunday and take care, everyone. That's gonna be it for this week. Gonna try and come up with something a little longer for next week. If you have any suggestions, any questions, what I'm thinking I might do is maybe a little bit of sculpting. Maybe you know, showing you what I worked on last night was you know, I try to figure out a way to create some um, create a cave, like the cave walls. So this is what I was able to come up with. You know, I think it looks decent for my skills of sculpting and modeling. I think it I think it turned out okay. So maybe we'll in our next stream we'll do something like this because I think they're you know, natural or organic objects are definitely very interesting, and I like to do more of those. Okay, everyone. Again, thank you, and have a great week. We'll see you in a few. And sometimes I do stream, you know, during the week, so you know, stop on by if you follow me on Twitch, and you know, or you know, you can ask me, hey, dude, can you show me, or you know, can we do this? And I can hopefully get some time on, and we'll do a quick Twitch stream about it. So, all right, everyone, take care.